We had Tree Living fired an hour and a half before the game against the Ducks. That's some interesting fucking timing there, to say the least. Tree Living sold Mitch for pretty much nothing. He got rid of McMahon, who's lighting it up in Seattle. He got rid of key pieces in LA and Colorado with Roy or Roy. I don't know what they call him. Nick Roy, yeah. And Scotty Lawton.
Yeah.
We're hearing new candidates. Could be Pronger, could be Armstrong from St. Louis. There's rumblings out there. What did you make of the decision to get rid of Tree? And do you have any kind of inclination or feeling as to who do you want to come in next?
I wish we knew why. We know the why, but we know the how, but like the why then, the timing. So I don't know if Tree Living was like, hey, I've been hearing rumors that you guys are already looking for a new GM. Just cut me loose now.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Or if he wanted to stay to the end of his year and then just have a clean exit then, or was it someone above Keith Pelly who's like, hey, we just like let's just move on right away because Nashville's doing a league-wide search for Nashville's got and Jeff Merrick said this the other day on our show. Nashville's got a league-wide search for a GM. There's new ownership, so that's not like from the hockey world. So they're casting a wide net, and Jeff believes that there's one or two candidates that are also being courted by Nashville that Toronto likes as well. So they're like, yeah, let's make sure that we're talking to this person before. Or maybe we want to get the first offer into Nashville. We want to respond to whatever offer they give. And also, like, Keith Pelly has not unveiled whether there will be a president of hockey operations and a general manager, or if someone like Doug Armstrong wants both titles, the president and the GM, which I suppose is cleaner. But is it an effective strategy to have just one person in dual roles? And I know that people have been successful, but it's, what is the structure that you want to have internally with the club? So I wish I knew like why Tree Living was fired 8 games before the end of the season, in the same way that I wish I knew why Bruce Cassidy was fired 8 games before the end of the season with the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah. But I read this article from Gary Lawless, and he was like, it made it seem like Bruce just lost the room, and the Vegas.
Well, with playoffs coming up too, like
and they were kind of floundering, and the management was like, "Hey, we're not in for the rebuild or the retool. Or I guess we refine along the way, but Vegas is all in every year,
100%."
So that one was a few days before the Tree Living one. Just like, bro, what? There's 8 games left. There was a precedent where Robbie Fatorik was the coach of before you were born. He was the coach of the New Jersey Devils in 2000. And then Lou Lamoriello was the GM. He fired him 8 games before the end of the season, replaced him with Larry Robinson. And that team went on to win the Stanley Cup in 2000. I mean, the roster was already loaded, but and then he fired Larry Robinson like 2 years later. So will John Tortorella have the same?
Yeah, slap Mitch in the ass, tell him to get going, win a fucking Conn Smythe.
Bro, like that is not outside of the realm of possibility. But to get through one of those teams in the Central, Colorado, Minnesota, or Dallas, that's just. I wish it's
the playoff format.
We are losing as fans because of that, because of the current playoff format. Like one of those 3 teams should not be eliminated in the first round. Colorado, Minnesota, or Dallas, because they're so strong. Like we want one of the or both of those. 2 of the 3 teams to play themselves in the Western Conference Finals, or make Jesus elevate his team again and then be there playing against Nate like they did in 22 or 23, or maybe against Jason Robertson and the Dallas Stars and Jake Ottinger, or Quinn Hughes in the the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going.
Well, it is looking like it's going to be Stars versus Wild, which is just a fucking coin flip, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, then you're looking at some of the other matchups, and you have Colorado, who's probably gonna have a layup like the Preds, for example, right? So
wait. So your read as a Montreal fan,
Glazer,
sure, Glazer, okay. Or Montreal stan, you're looking at Toronto. What do you think? Are you thinking like this is such a dumpster fire? This is embarrassing. Like, what are they doing with their captain? Is their captain going to leave? What are they doing with Nylander? Are they going to refill the
They can't refill the cupboards because they have nothing
Well,
to
no,
refill them with.
they can trade a star and then
Correct.
get some first round
Correct.
picks.
Correct. Then
But, like-
then you're initiating the rebuild, not the retool.
Yeah.
So before we get into that, because I do have that coming up here in terms of the culture and because obviously culture is a big thing, and that's what they talked about a lot with redefining the culture, and that the culture's already in that room, which is bullshit in my opinion. But there were some interesting quotes, especially relating to the Habs, from the man Keith Pelly.
Oh, with the prospects.
So there's some quotes about Pelly when he had his presser the other day on the Habs and the Sabres, and I'll read them to you right here. Pelly said, by the way, this is like live. He said this, which is fucked. He said, "We definitely didn't see the train coming, which was the Canadians and the Sabres. Buffalo and Montreal have shown that they're young, energetic teams that are going to be here for a long time, and the prospects that they have from Michael Hage to Radim Murtka, they're strong." He doesn't know any players, so I don't even know how he dropped those names. And then the Atlantic Division is a really strong division, and we're going to have to improve and be good to compete in the Atlantic Division again. He's pretty much saying we didn't expect the other teams to be good this year, and they're now elite, and now we're fucking steps behind, and we couldn't do anything about it.
He gets a pass for Buffalo. He gets a pass.
Okay, I'll give you
Buffalo's
Buffalo.
Buffalo's been underperforming.
Correct.
They've had so many first round picks, and so many guys have left.
And won
Reinhart,
cups.
and Jack Eichel. Those
Yeah.
are two that have left and won cups. And it was nobody expected after Kevin Adams gets fired that Buffalo would win 10 in a row in December, and then this month.
And then
they
come
won
back from the
8
Olympics
in
and
a
win
row.
again. Yeah.
Bro, like February 27th or 28th was like and they've won 8 in a row. Like nobody expected. Well, actually, maybe the second win streak, but not the first win streak.
No.
The double-digit win streak. So he gets a pass there.
But then you still
Montreal's-
have the Sens and the Red Wings and the Habs. They're
But-
all taking steps. They know this.
Yeah, I think, but the Iser plan is looking very shaky.
Yeah, that's looking rough.
And
That's
Iser
looking
plan,
rough.
that started
That's
in
ticking.
2000 they were out of the playoffs in 16 was the last time they made the playoffs. That started in 19 because he built
18-19
Tampa,
season.
And then Tampa went on to win a couple of championships. Or,
6
excuse me,
seasons with missing the playoffs. And his first 6 seasons missing the playoffs.
Yeah,
with that
bro,
team.
this is year 7.
Yeah.
And
it's looking like 7.
I mean, I know he's goated in Detroit, and he's one of the faces of that
did
franchise.
bits in Tampa, yeah.
And he won 3 cups with Detroit, but as an executive in Detroit specifically, not going according to the Iser plan. He's got the top 2 D pairs, incredible too, arguably 1 or 2 in the NHL. What was your, okay? So
But in terms of Pelly, what he said.
Pelly, yeah, right. With
Like-
not see, the Montreal one is problematic because you guys were in the playoffs last year.
Especially, obviously we know the rivalry and stuff like that, but you can't say, that's an excuse. Oh, they're fucking unreal this year. That's why we're not in the playoffs. No, there's bigger issues than that.
Yeah, there's some some roster construction issues, and then also the structure that they played with Berube. I think Brad Treliving as a GM, he likes big, he's kind of an old school mind, likes big, tough, powerful hockey players, and the game has evolved. I mean, you need some of those guys, but you
Look
need
at the
you
Habs.
need
They're not the biggest team.
You need skill.
Yeah.
You need skilled players and guys who can skate. So, and the other one I don't have a problem with. The Atlantic Division is hard or whatever he said. Yeah, I mean, yes, of course. You got
Every
the
fucking
defending
division's hard.
Stanley Cup champions in there, 1-2 in a row, and Tampa is always going to be there. Boston. If he said we didn't see Boston coming,
That would have been fucked.
that would have been fine,
Really?
bro. A 1-year retool.
But no one expected Boston to still be there this year, I think.
That's what I mean. So if he said we didn't see Boston coming,
then that's
I'd be
understandable, you mean.
That's understandable because
Okay.
they had
Okay.
70 points last year or whatever. They're one of the below, the bottom 4 teams in the Atlantic, as Toronto's raising an Atlantic Division banner literally 12 months ago with 108 points.
I know.
So I give him a pass. I give him a pass for Buffalo. Again, Montreal is problematic.
If he said fucking Tampa or Florida, then that would have been fucked. But obviously, Treliving got the boot. Is Berube next? And if Berube is next, is Cassidy coming in?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, they probably.
I don't see him coming back.
I don't have
next year.
any
You can't.
institutional knowledge, so this.
Oh,
is
me
just-
neither. This is all just speculation.
Yeah, speculation and gut feel.
But there's no way he could come back next year. In my honest opinion, I watch a good amount of Leafs games because obviously I live in Toronto, so I like giving it back and forth with my Leafs friends. Obviously, I've taken a beating for 10 or so years, except for 2021. But now,
you guys were down 3-1 and came back.
except for that year, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, since then, this year has been pretty fucking good for me in terms of that sense. But Just watching those games, it just seems like disinterested, no buy-in. You said how Cassidy lost the room in Vegas.
Yeah.
I think Berube's lost the room way more in Toronto.
It's difficult to see a path where he returns as head coach. It's difficult. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. And I like how the players responded after Austin Matthews. Like, I hate that he got injured. That he got injured and he's out for the season. And I, like everybody, you would want to see more of what we saw. You want to see, like, in the third period against Anaheim, once Radko Gudas goes knee on knee with Austin Matthews, you want to see what happened in Anaheim a few days ago, where the game opens and Max Domi is fighting Radko Gudas. You want to see that in the third period of that Anaheim game.
Yeah,
they did, and I say to Dan, like, the way they did outscore Anaheim 3-1 in that period, so they did respond technically, but not in the way that the code suggests.
I thought it was going to be a line brawl. Other than
that's the code.
Other than Gudas just dropping the gloves, being like, "Yeah, throw away," because he didn't throw.
He didn't throw, and I think there's some unwritten like code that
I don't like that if I'm Anaheim. I don't like my captain going there center ice, being like, "Yeah, punch my face in. I was wrong." I don't like that.
But the hit was dirty, though.
It was.
So you kind of have to pay for that.
If you're good, you could pay for it. You could take the fight. But my concern is, why not throw?
Okay, so what happens if Gudas knocks out Max Domi? Then what? Then he's hunted for the next 60
Then you're
minutes.
looking at Carlo or McCabe next.
But
that's the thing.
He may have just wanted to get it over with because he knows it's
fair,
coming. And he said, I'm sure he's looking at the roster like, who am I going to fight? Dakota Johnson? Who am I going to fight? Max Domi? I'm going to fight Jake McCabe or Brandon Carlo?
I was surprised it was Domi. I was really surprised it was Domi.
But him and Austin are like very tight. Like
yeah, but you would think because Gudas, he's not the smallest guy, right?
No, yeah, he's a big dude.
So that's why I was thinking it's going to be McCabe or Carlo. I don't see. First of all, I said if Pez fights this franchise, it's a joke because this is not something you bring Pez for. You know what I mean? So that's why when I saw Domi, I'm like, okay, I get it. But I personally would have liked to see one of the bigger boys, Joshua, McCabe, or Carlo step in. But at the end of the day, it's probably a seniority thing where Domi's like, listen, I've been here the longest. I'm the tightest with him. I'm going to go in.
I don't even know if that's much. Yeah, maybe he says that out loud, or maybe it's just understood that, like, like Max will handle this. Or I wish I knew. I wish I had.
We don't
some
know.
kind of.
I'll call up Berube right now.
Like an equipment guy just feeding me this intel so I could give it to you, but it's purely speculation. So yeah, Berube, I don't think it's hard to see him returning. And then as far as the next, I think they got to do a GM first. And because that just makes
you can't hire someone without knowing who your top dog is, right? So
also, like, the GM wants to bring in their guy because if the GM inherits a coach
that didn't want,
then there's going to be a tension and, like, will there be unity right away? And you want like the team to have some order, like way that, like, Mark Shapiro has had 10. What, he came in 15 or 16?
Yeah, it's been a fucking while.
So it's 10 years of basically stability. I would imagine. And then with the Raptors beforehand, Masai Ujiri was the general manager and then president from 13 and he left in 25. So, like, a 10-year, and obviously you have to win in order to stay in place. And the Raptors obviously did that. And the Blue Jays are knocking on the door of immortality. So I imagine the Leafs want to replicate that kind of stability with the front office.
Mm-hmm. And that's why Dallas sees that the Leafs fire their GM and they immediately re-sign their GM, Jim Neal, to a contract extension. So, like, you're not taking our fucking guy. Because obviously he's doing bits there with the Stars. In terms of the culture, it was said that they want to keep the guys in the room and they don't want to bring pieces in that'll build the culture because the culture's already in that room. How does that make you feel knowing that Nylander, he's not necessarily the biggest tone setter? Matthews, obviously he learned a lot at the Olympics by being a leader there. I see him potentially being a guy that could step it up come the time. But when you're looking at guys like Nylander, like Riley, like, that's a big statement for a team that doesn't really have a lot of, like, I don't know, culture already instated in there from the looks of it.
I disagree with that. I think, like, the former captain is still on the squad, and John Tavares is a highly respected vet. Mm-hmm. And Morgan Riley is also a very highly respected vet too. I mean, this year was a bit of a down year from a production wise, but still as a leader on that. He's been there since he was drafted in 11.
Yeah,
So he's been there for 14, 15 years. And Tavares has been, who was 08 or 09 was he the number one
to
pick?
the Islanders, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that time served definitely gives you status in the room. And even though Matthews isn't known as a rah-rah speech guy, neither is William Nylander, there's still a way that Tavares, especially, like the way that he prepares for games and the way that he trains in the offseason. Bro has like a hyperbaric chamber in his house.
Yeah.
One of those red light theory I suppose
he has it
chamber
figured out,
in his house too. Like the culture, Connor McDavid isn't known as a rah-rah speech guy, but he's the leader of that team, and the team operates a certain way. I don't know that Nate McKinnon is a rah-rah speech guy, but that
he leads by example.
He leads by everybody follows his the way that he behaves and the way he comports himself. Like I would push back to say that there's no culture on the Toronto Maple Leafs. It may not be as apparent, but I know that those vets in there command respect. And then with the right leader, I mean, we weren't saying there's no culture last year when they won 108, when they earned 108 points.
And they took
I know they're missing
the
Mitchie, which is obviously like the biggest piece. You're not getting a 100-point playmaker out there serving up one-timers for Austin Matthews on the PP or whatever, or for Nylander. So that's obviously a big part. And Mitchie, I will say this, Mitchie was a guy who, and I don't think he'll mind me saying this, but Mitchie was the guy who had the parties, who had the dinners, who had the Super Bowl watching in Mitchie's house. In the summertime, we're having he would have like theme parties at his place was like the HQ for the squad after, like, on nights where they're home for 10 days or whatever. It's the Halloween party. It's the New Year's Eve party. Like, he was the guy where everybody would go to his house. So that you're that guy missing in the room would also be like, okay, who's going to fill that void? Because the boys still need to hang out. They still need to. And I think Craig Berube said this earlier in the season. I think their schedule was front loaded where they were at home a lot, but he said it's going to be good for the boys to get on the road so they could just spend time with each other. Because to me, because I know this about Mitch, I'm like, when they're at home, guys kind of just go in their silos. I mean, some guys have families, some guys have kids. I mean, obviously you got to go be with the family, but for the single guys or the guys who just have girlfriends, like, maybe they are missing some of that chemistry, some of that bonding, and on the road you can do that because it's just 25 dudes and you're in Dallas or you're in LA or you're in Seattle or Salt Lake City, and it's good to go have dinner sometimes where guys can cut loose and undo a couple of buttons, show the chest hair like you probably got under that bad boy there.
Tarp's off now.
Yeah, no, please not, please don't. That Mitch Marner is a missing piece, and I know he gets a lot of flack from fans because the expectations they had for him were as high as probably his own expectations, and he didn't deliver on his own for Toronto, and he gets unfairly criticized for that. But I think he's a big missing piece of the culture there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you see them in terms of, like, obviously there's a lot of talk now. Nylander, do you keep him? Do you move him? Matthews, is he bought into the point where he'll re-sign once his contract's up? Riley, I think, is kind of getting shooed out of town, unfortunately for him, or at least that's what the feeling is like lately. The goalie situation, like Wall and Stolarz, you have a two-headed beast there.
And you got Dennis Hildeby, the Hildebeest.
The Hildebeest. But that's the thing, like,
who's nice.
Do you need both those goalies, or do you flip one of them for an asset? What do you think?
You probably flip one of them for an asset.
Okay.
I would think so, and you can kind of take your pick. I mean, Stolarz wasn't the healthiest this year, and that's why we got to see
neither of them were really.
True. Yeah. It was a bit of a platoon. And that, like, Hildebeest, 6'7", bro. Like, how do you even score on that?
He's huge.
Mother bleeper. That's probably something. There's probably a whiteboard in a conference room at 50 Bay Street.
Who the fuck do we? Who do we keep? Who do we ship out? All right,
guys. There's one ledger, like, we're keeping these guys, and there's another ledger, and there might only be one name on that one side.
And now it's quiet because there's no GM.
Yeah, it's probably still. Well, there's two assistant GMs.
Yeah,
there's Brendan Pridham and I'm forgetting. Haley Wickenheiser is on the front office, and there's some assistant coaches, but I can't remember the other assistant GMs. the gentleman's name is escaping me, but they're still there. I'm just not sure how loud their voices are in those meetings. We're like, oh, guys, and we really need to keep this person, or we should. All right, put this person's name over here and just
Keep it for later.
Yeah, we'll answer the call answer the phone when those calls come in.
You want to keep Willie?
Yeah.
Okay.
This guy's a 40 goal scorer, bro. This guy's like,
Okay.
And we're seeing he's got some playmaking. Not got some.
We know he's an elite playmaker.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. And
it's more of the culture question that I'm trying to get out
absolutely, we got Toronto has to keep Willie Nylander. I want to keep everybody.
Yeah.
And just add some
But
pieces.
you gotta get rid of
course.
to get,
Of course.
which is where that new GM, whoever it may be, and new coach potentially have to work some fucking magic.